There we go. I think that they'd like to they would like to start with something that's recognizable. I think that most of us in this room would agree that the Dalai Lama is someone we should probably listen to. Probably, right? He's somebody who probably understands life at a deeper level than we do. Probably, right? Odds are good, right? Odds are good. So there was something that he said, it was a quote from him that really got my attention because it wasn't what I expected. Mara, join us. Join us, sweetheart. Bring a chair. Bring a chair. Yes. So it got my attention what he said because it wasn't what I expected. And so when things aren't what I expect, I always think, oh, wow, especially if it's someone like the Dalai Lama. It's like, that's not what I expected. Now I'm going to learn something. I'm going to learn something. So what he said is, the question that was posed to him is, what is the most important thing for spiritual growth? I thought, oh, now I'm going to learn something. What do you think he said? Guesses? I'm sorry? Prayer, compassion, meditation. Anybody else? Giving. Breath. Mistakes. Love. What he said is, keep company with the right people. Keep company with the right people. I thought, wow, that's not at all what I expected. And then I started thinking about it. And then I thought, well, what have I learned? Then my guide started saying, now what have you learned? And this is how they talk to me, like I'm 2 years old, which I am, you see, which I am. What have you learned? And I said, well, it's true. When I sit in a session and really am intending to turn the steering wheel over to them, I'm not clutching the steering wheel because that's something different, But when I literally say, okay, you guys take the wheel, and I sit in their energy, I am improved. I am improved. So when we're facilitating sessions, not with the intention to clutch the wheel and keep control, that's something different, but truly letting them take the wheel, we are improved because we're in their presence. That's what the Dalai Lama is saying, you see? Does that make sense? So this weekend, this wonderful weekend, is about opening up to being in the presence of higher dimension beings, truly letting them have the wheel. In our sessions is easier than in our lives. It begins in the sessions, you see. If we can't do it in the sessions, let's face it, friends, we're probably not able to do it in our lives, right? But how, as we begin to be able to turn the steering wheel over to the guides in sessions, we become aware of how much they love us. And we start to realize, I'm probably not the one exception in all the universe. You see? Maybe not. Maybe my guides love me like everybody else's guides love them. They love them so much. And by facilitating sessions for real, not clutching the wheel, you understand? That's something different. It's something different. It's okay. It's still a powerful shamanic technique, but it isn't what we're teaching. It's different. And that confuses people, you see?
Standing in a pool of grace, and that other not necessarily is graceful.
Right.
That understanding.
That's correct. It's still powerful. But it isn't what we're teaching. Right. Right. So, when we actually do it, when we give up trying to control, when we step over our fear, we're all afraid, right? Who's afraid they can't do this for real? I'm thinking all the hands are up, right? My hand's certainly up. You noticed that, right? Right. So we're all afraid. It's okay to be afraid. Fear doesn't have to call the shots. Fear doesn't have to call the shots. We're afraid and we do it anyway. We're afraid and we do it anyway. When we actually do that and the love flows and there's so much grace, then we start to realize it's safe to trust. Maybe I can trust you. So that's what this weekend is about. And we remember, Stephen Covey began with the end in mind. What is the end in mind? What is the goal of the Lightworkers Healing Method? Soul plan. Soul plan. Bring people into alignment with their soul plan. Why? Because it's the shortest way to joy. To live lives of joy and fulfillment. To bring people into alignment with their soul plan, into a life of joy for all beings living joyful lives in a world that works. Begin with the end in mind, right? Is there a better game to play? I don't think so. Right? Right. So that's the goal. So this weekend, we start to progress in that journey of taking the next step, becoming an active member of the healing team. It's a multidimensional healing team. It's a multidimensional teaching team. They're here for all of us in every moment. When we're for real, engaging in this, there's so much higher dimension support. It's different than that other thing. Paula, you get...
Where you're taking information from the sides.
Yes.
That's the difference. It's intuitiveness. Intuitive readers take their information from the sides. It's considered shamanic, but that and the up is the difference.
It's
got to be guided up.
So Paula said it...
The hard shift for me is you're not turning off the side, you're turning it up.
So Paula spoke just beautifully. She said the difference is this in shamanic healing, and this is without the alignment, this is a powerful shamanic healing technique. You guys get that, right? Even without the alignment, you can blow the doors off with shamanic healing, but it isn't the same game because your channels are out and you're picking up information from the world around us, which is still there and is still useful. It is. And Paula says, and what's hard for her is what's hard for everybody, is to turn the channels up, focusing on the guides. This is what's hard. This is what trips people up. It's okay. We can do it. As soon as we say, I'm going to stop pretending that I'm already doing it and actually start trying, it clicks in. Now, Pat, I think in the last class, you're the one who said, yes, it was you. I could be wrong. Let me say it out loud and you can correct me, okay? It was a practice. And so in the practice, what the teaching team is doing, I want to explain it now. We're not listening to the words you're saying. What we're doing is assessing your alignment. This is an objective skill in our teaching team training. We teach people how to become aware of the energy body's alignment, how to assess where are the channels pointed, how is the upward flow, how is the merge. Teaching team, is this true, yes or no? Shout it out. Yeah. Right. So what we're doing is going table to table, assessing the alignment and helping you get your alignment right. So I think it was you, Pat, I was just helping you get it right, and you said, whew, it blows my skirt up when that's right. So it's the difference between the alignment on and the alignment not on. Before it was fine, whew, get the alignment on, whew, it blows my skirt up. So before we have the alignment on, it's already feeling good, you understand? But it's not the same. So what we're teaching is for real, to do it for real, not for pretend. For real, not for pretend. And in this weekend, this is when it can come together. Now, this is a learning laboratory. All these classes, we teach people to do it step by step in the class, because how else will you get to practice in the supported environment, you see? But when we leave the room, we don't go step by step, you see? We do our opening process. We help our subject formulate an intention that gets to aligning with the soul plan, because the higher dimension beings don't care about manipulating energy. They're not interested in that. They care about aligning with the soul plan. If you want to manipulate energy, you'll get someone who's interested in doing that, an astral being, you know, a healing being from another dimension. You won't get higher dimension energy. You'll get astral helpers, which is fine. That's what shamanic healing does. You see, you'll be working with shamanic healing, which is fine, but that's not what we're teaching. It's not what we're teaching. So when you leave the room, the idea is channels up, upward rising energy, ask, take a risk, trust, have courage, babble it out even when it's not coming clear in our heads. Even when it isn't coming clear in our heads and we have a fleeting image, to not speak it out is to let fear win. Does that make sense? So, friends, you wouldn't be sitting in this room if you didn't have some courage, right? So just gather it up. Gather up the courage and speak it out. Take the risk. What's the worst thing that could happen? We're wrong, right? We say, no big deal. I need to speak this out. I may need to back up and correct myself. And so we're giving ourselves permission, you see? And then we start to get in motion. Does that make sense?